Hey girl, hey, are you standing on business or are you playing with yourself? That's the question for today. Are you standing on business? This statement has become a very trending, popular statement. Like everybody, you standing on business, I'm standing on business. Da, 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 da. Everybody's standing on business. And maybe you haven't heard of this term, or maybe you have and maybe you don't know the meaning of it. But just quick background on what standing on business means. It basically means you said something and you meant it. I'll give a quick example. Let's just say you said you want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, so if you said you want to lose 10 pounds and you actually meant that, the following day you went to Chick-fil-A and instead of getting the fried chicken sandwich, you got the grilled salad instead. That's standing on business. You said you wanted to lose 10 pounds, so instead of you getting the chicken sandwich, you got the salad instead. So that's a good step towards, you losing the 10 pounds. Another example is you said, fuck that job. I ain't going to work tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, you don't go to work. That's standing on business. You said something and you actually meant it. Let's get into today's topic, which is going to be standing on business. Now, me personally, I struggle with standing on business. Now, when it comes to somebody trying to play with me, or like when it comes to my feelings standing on business, if I say something, I definitely mean it. And ain't no going back and forth on that. I said what I said and that's what I meant. But when it comes to me maybe doing something that I said I'm going to do, I will allow life or myself to cause me not to stand on business, if that makes sense. So that's why I ask, are y'all really out here standing on business for real? Because life really be trying the fuck out of me. Listen, I'm not even going to try to hold y'all because life has been really trying to eat me up while I've been trying to stand on business. So I'm going to share with you girls what I've been doing to make sure I stand on what I said. Okay, so because I'm trying to stand on business with life, I had to break this down into 3 categories. So the first thing I had to do was identify what is the issue, what is the problem, why can't I stand on business? The second category would be the goals of what I'm trying to achieve while I'm standing on business. And the third thing would be the intentions, the intentional steps that I am going to take to achieve those goals, which would result in me standing on business. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. I had to honestly have a sit down conversation with myself privately and ask myself, how do I see myself? How do I truly feel without, somebody telling me how I should feel, or without seeing someone else influencing how I should feel? You get what I'm saying? Without any interruptions. And I turned my phone off and Travis was at work, Ari was at school. So it was really quiet and I was able to tap in with myself and really ask myself some deep questions some questions I wasn't able to fully answer, but I was able to get an idea of how do I see myself. One thing that dawned on me was that I have now became a member of the self-doubt crew. I don't know. I don't know why I don't believe in myself or why I doubt myself. And so I wasn't really surprised that came to me the way it did in my quietness of trying to figure out why I'm not moving or doing what I need to be doing. So later that night, I asked my husband, you being with me for these last 15 years, do you feel like at one point, or if I have always or never have been a person who either struggles or does great with believing in myself or making decisions without someone else's influence? And he asked me if he could speak truthfully. Yeah, because sometimes I do get pissed off, because sometimes you got to be in that moment. Sometimes you got to be in the right headspace to receive a message. You get what I'm saying? So if you're not in the right headspace, that message ain't gonna come out right. So it might just fuck up the whole day. You get what I'm saying? So of course, I said, please let me know. So he said, earlier on in my life, I was a lot more ambitious. I had a lot more dreams, and I went after those dreams regardless of what the outcome was. I was less fearful. That's the word that he used. I was fearless. And now it seems like I'm doubting myself a lot. I'm not trusting myself as much, especially things that he said, especially like with things that I know is a go. Like, I will still question it at the end of the day. I will still come to him and ask for feedback, or not necessarily ask for permission, but just make sure it's a green light, just to make sure it's a go. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a good decision. Just not trusting myself. All right, so boom, self-doubt, one issue. All right, the next issue is I discovered that I'm not making myself a priority. This I already knew. This developed like soon as I had my daughter. My priorities completely shift. Rightfully so, right? Right. Not even gonna argue that. But when I'm either 0 to 100, like there's no in between with me, and I struggle with that. And Travis, like, it ruffles his feathers, like it gets his gears going, because he's like, girl, pick something in the middle. Why is it always 0 to 100 with you for real? And I don't know. Like, I don't know how to level my emotions like that. I don't know how to give things numbers or a certain amount of energy in my life, without fully going all in or pulling completely out. Like, I haven't mastered that yet. It's something I'll work on, but I just haven't mastered it yet. But yeah, not making myself a priority. Those are two things that I feel like has really caused an issue with me standing on business with other things that I would like to do. All right, so now that I have identified two issues that I wasn't really aware of, but I want to fix those two issues. What I highly recommend is you tapping in or tuning in with yourself or whatever problem you may be having that's causing you not to stand on business. So once you've identified the problem or the issue that you're having, the next thing you want to do is write down some goals of what you want to do to fix those issues that you just recently identified. So for an example with me, I have an issue with trusting myself. So my goal was to trust myself and make a move and stand on that. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't question yourself. If you make the wrong decision, so what? It's okay. Making the wrong decisions often builds great characteristics in a person. So don't focus so much on the negativity of what if this doesn't work out? What if this doesn't go the way I planned for it to go? Like, don't even allow myself to get the negativity in my head, which then causes me to not do nothing or causes me to go back and ask somebody else for their opinion, which is again then causing me to have self-doubt on something that I really want to do. My goal is to start trusting myself more and knowing that it's okay if it doesn't go as planned. And it's great if it does go as planned. But the thing that you have to do is trust yourself, regardless of whatever way it goes, whichever way the dice roll, you gonna stand 10 toes down and you got this. You get what I'm saying? Like, God ain't gonna put no more on you than what you can handle. So at the end of the day, you got this. So my next goal is to show up as her. Showing up as her can look different to everybody, but for me, it's more so of putting myself a priority so that I can pour into others on a full cup instead of a half empty or an empty cup most of the time. One thing that I stopped doing after I had my daughter, because I got so wrapped up in mommyhood and trying to juggle everything. COVID was here. We was transitioning into buying another house. Business was changing with COVID. Everything was changing around me. And of course, I became less and less of a priority. Naturally so, right? But unfortunately, I never came out of that hole. Like, as everybody else is gradually coming out the hole and getting back into life and getting back into the light of things and transitioning after COVID, I'm still stuck in that hole. I'm still stuck in that, I don't want to say dark place, but I'm still stuck in that place where I was 4 years ago. I'm stuck. I can't move. And I realized me not setting goals caused me to stay in that hole even longer. So I definitely suggest and recommend that you girls set goals. It will just do something to your self-esteem. It will boost your morale. I believe it will also encourage you to make decisions and be more comfortable when you make those decisions. Next thing that you want to do, and this is so important because this is actually putting things in motion. You get what I'm saying? All that talking is cool, but putting it in motion, putting the play in play, that's what it's all about. Standing on business. Being intentional is going to help you stand on business. So intentional means that you are doing something with a purpose. You are doing something that is specific to something. You are deliberate with doing something. For an example, if you have an issue with putting yourself first, tomorrow, instead of you getting the kids dressed first, you wake up early to get yourself dressed first. That is being intentional. That is standing on business because you first said a problem is you don't put yourself first. All right. In your goals, you said you want to put yourself first. So in order to make that goal come alive, you got to now be intentional. So the way you be intentional with that is you put a play in motion. You say, okay, cool, bet. My kids got to be up by 6:30 every morning. That means I need to wake up at 6 a.m., 5:15, 5:45, whatever the time frame may be. But whatever it is, I'm going to get up first. And I'm going to put myself as a priority before I wake my kids up. You get what I'm saying? So that is the intentional step that you took to stand on business that morning to put yourself first. You follow? Got you. So now that I have given you the 3 steps to help you stand on business, let's talk about it. Again, identifying the issue or the problem that is causing you not to stand on business. What goals or steps can you take for those issues to help you stand on business? Now, what type of plan do you have that's going to help you achieve those goals so that you can stand on business and those issues are no longer an issue? So let's talk about it. Okay, so I talked about me not being a priority and how I feel like the shift came about of, naturally so, me not being a priority. But honestly, it's a problem for me. And I think it's a problem that a lot of us face, but we just don't talk about it because maybe that's just not the thing that we're supposed to do. Like, I'll tell you this. Before I had my daughter, all I heard was, oh, you so young, girl, live your life because once you have a kid, your life is over. It's all about them. They're so expensive. Daycare is this, yada, yada, yada. Got it. Cool. Let me make sure I get my money right so that when this kid get here, we up as much as I can get, as much as we can get there. Let me travel so that I'm fulfilled and I don't have the urge to want to go places and knowing I can't go. Or let me, live out my life because I know my life is going to be over. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the things I prepared myself for because that's what I heard on a day-to-day or, that's what I heard on a regular basis from those who were parents. And nobody, as far as what I can recall, nobody ever told me that you're going to really kind of transform into a different person where, yes, you're no longer a priority, but you also start to have mental breakdowns of not being a priority. And maybe people didn't connect the dots like that. You get what I'm saying? Maybe people didn't think like, oh God, if I'm focusing 100% on my child and I'm not giving myself anything, how is that affecting me? If I'm going batshit crazy, like, does that have anything to do with me not focusing in just 1% on myself? You get what I'm saying? Like, I think it's just a conversation people never really sat down and had, or maybe they thought about it, but it just wasn't the right thing to say. So I am just tired. Like, when I had my daughter, it's all about comfort. Like, I will wake up with, like, I'll just say, for example, if we got somewhere to go, she's going to get dressed first. Her outfit is going to get put on first. Her outfit is going to be thought of. She's going to know I'm going to know what she's wearing before the event is even here. Myself, I get dressed 10 minutes before. I might get dressed. I might think about what I'm wearing 30 minutes before. But I am pretty much last on that list, last on the things to do. So I'll just give you guys an example of what I'm talking about, because I may not be explaining it the correct way. So I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way. So I feel like it's important to just give an example of what I'm trying to say. So let's say you have a child and you're getting this child up and ready for a birthday party. This child is always, put together, very well groomed, just the child looks like they're very well kept. And you, on the other hand, show up like you just had a rough day. Like, it just ain't a good day. You're in good spirit. But physically, if I wasn't to talk to you, I would think you had a shitty day. And your kid is just having the most amazing day ever. The backstory to that is you wake up in the morning. Birthday party starts at 12. So you wake up in the morning, you fix breakfast, or you get you get your child going for the morning. You do your morning routine for the child. Okay? After you do that, you start getting ready for the birthday party that will be starting soon. So, you instantly, I'm sure you've already got the outfit picked out of what your child is going to be wearing. You're maybe already in the process of doing their hair. You're basically getting them ready for the event. This may be at 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock, whatever the case may be. It's going to be before 12 o'clock most of the time. Now, let's say you got about 10 minutes, 15 minutes before you leave the house for the birthday party. Those last 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, is going to be on you. You're going to have 5 minutes to do something to your hair, 5 minutes to throw on some clothes. You're going to have 2 minutes to do your hair, 1 minute to put on some clothes, another minute to get downstairs, another minute to put them in the car, and you're gone. You get what I'm saying? It's like you give yourself at the end of that routine, you give yourself that last little bit of time, and it causes you not to show up in the same way that your child is showing up. And over time, if you continue to do that, it starts to interfere with the way you feel about yourself. You start showing up as somebody that you may not recognize anymore. You start showing up as a person who may not be happy. You start showing up as a person who may be bitter, may be angry. I feel like just a lot of different things may develop from a person who is not able to, dedicate any time to themselves or pour into themselves or have themselves look somewhat presentable. Now, let me say this, because I don't want the girls to come and get in an uproar, or, I don't want to have the girls out here tussling. There is a mommy wardrobe. Let me say that. Now, I'm not talking about the aesthetically pleasing wardrobe. I'm talking about the wardrobe where the mommy got on the sweatpants that's falling off her ass, the sweatshirt or t-shirt that's probably like 3 sizes bigger than her. It may have a hole in it. It may have a bleach stain. It may have, some sort of stain on it. Or it may be the cleanest and it may just be 3 sizes bigger, and your sweatpants may be 2 sizes bigger too. You just look like you going through it. That's what I'm really trying to say. That's not aesthetically pleasing in my eyes. Okay, it's not. So that's the mommy wardrobe. Don't argue with me, because it is. The mommy wardrobe is tights and sweatpants. Tights, sweatpants, or an oversized shirt. And it does not look the same as it does with someone who has like all the aesthetics to make it look like a fashion statement. Girl, moms make it look like, look, I'm comfortable. I got ready at the last minute. My kid is here. My kid is taken care of. And that's all that matters. And really, in reality, y'all, that's not what really matters. You matter too. Like, I'm just so sick of the bullshit. Like, I'm so sick of us not being real with ourselves. Like, yes, our kids are important. Yes, it is important to make sure they're happy. Yes, it is important to make sure they are priority. I honestly feel like it is not selfish if you put yourself number one. Because if you are not full, how are you going to show up as a great mom, as a great wife, as a great friend, as a great daughter, if you are showing up half empty or empty? You are not putting your best foot forward, nor are you giving those people that you love the most the best version of you. You understand that? Like, it's impossible. When you don't feel the best about yourself, it is impossible for you to pour good or the best into somebody else. So I'm no longer accepting the bullshit of I'm a parent. It's okay for me to look like this. I'm not going anywhere. If I got somewhere to go, I know how to put on clothes. I know how to dress. No, bitch. It ain't all about that. It's all about making sure you don't become one of those bitter parents who gave up their life to take care of their kids and didn't give a damn about themselves. So then when that kid grow up and it's all about them and they ain't worrying about you no more, you don't become bitter in the midst of that. That's why I'm telling you, put yourself first. Not in a selfish way, but just in a way so that you become a better version of yourself, so that when you pouring into somebody else, you ain't pouring nothing but top tierness into them. Hello. And I'm going to leave y'all at that because I think y'all get my point. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this podcast episode. I am so excited to be bringing more episodes to you guys. And again, follow me on Instagram, the Hustle and Juggle podcast, and definitely leave in the comment section if you have any recommendations on the next episode. Thank you so much. Ciao.